Hi guys, this is Tracy from Lavinia Stamps and thank you for joining me for another demonstration today. We are going to be creating a bookmark, a nice simple bookmark that you can put in these fabulous sleeves. Okay, so you probably can't see that under the light because it's quite shiny, but we have the card already cut here. So this is the Bockingford card again, so your watercolour card. And then these sleeves are bookmark sleeves, so they slot really nicely in there. I think they're a really nice gift for someone that they can actually use as well. So we're going to make this. Let me show you. Okay. Let's pop that to the side and get started. So we've got one of our lovely witches here, and we've got our very old path. This is, gosh, I don't know how many years old, but it's a great little stamp, this is, to create depth to the card. So we're going to start with the path, inking up in the VersaFine Clair. Let's pop that down at the bottom of the card, giving that a good press. Remembering, if you're stamping onto watercolour card, you always need to take your time a little. You need to let the ink soak into the card because there's a little bit more texture than the multifarious card. So there's no rush, and that way you'll get your perfect image. However, if you don't get that perfect image, don't panic. There's lots of things we can use to touch up the detail. So I'm inking up, make sure that the witch is completely covered, and then we're going to pop her down at the top of the path. Again, this is a silhouette, so silhouettes are always a little bit more tricky. They're always a little bit more tricky to stamp. And as I say, but don't panic. If that centre bit isn't quite black, we can use something to fill that in. So you can see there, it's a little bit faint in the middle, so I will use one of my stencil brushes and the VersaFine Clair, and I will show you that in a minute. I've got my little moon mask here, this is the smaller one, and I'm going to use the VersaFine Clair to go around the edge. So just hold that in place. She says, moving it. Okay, so using my stencil brush again, I'm going to go back over very carefully over our witch and just get rid of any areas that are a little bit faint, which is normally just the centre. Okay, so I'm going to pop this to the side, and then I'm going to grab my gel press, and I've got graphite, okay? So I'm going to be using the graphite and our brayer. Now it doesn't look like there's an awful lot going over the top, but I can assure you it's enough to give you that lovely textured background. So just do that a few times. And now I've got our Kuretake Gold Drop of Shimmer, which is fabulous. So just give that a little bit of a shake. We only need a small amount. So I've got my fan brush here, and I'm just going to dot a little around. We don't want too much. We don't want it to be too overpowering. So a little bit at the top, a little bit at the bottom. And now I'm just going to go in with some water. And hopefully that's enough to give us a really lovely effect. So let's pop our bookmark back down. Now it doesn't quite fit, but that's fine because we can just blend the edges afterwards. And there we go. This technique is, I just absolutely love it. This effect, isn't that just fabulous? It looks like I've spent ages creating that, and it's so quick and simple on the gel press. I'm going to dry that off a little. And I've got our verse here with VersaFine Claire, and I'm just going to stamp some words in the background there. Now I'm not stamping off because we've got quite a lot of colour going on in the background. If I was to stamp off, I don't think you would see it. So there we go. And now go back to our small stencil brush. Now this is where I'm going to pull in some depth. And you can see by just using this, it makes it look completely different. It just gives it that really nice dramatic sort of finish. So I'm going to grab a couple of our Posca pencils now, just to highlight the lamp. Just giving that a little bit of a glow. These are lovely pencils. I know Mona uses them a lot. She actually bought me my first set and introduced them to me, and I absolutely love them. What a glow that gives. Okay, so now we just need our little bookmark sleeve. Pop that in there. And there we have our bookmark. Well, we've got two now. Okay, there you go, guys. I hope you can see that. I know the plastic doesn't help. But what a lovely effect. And what a fabulous gift to give somebody. I think so anyway. Thank you so much for watching me, guys. You take care, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.